Welcome to this episode of BizJet TV about the Gulfstream G400. The first test flight just happened the other day. That's what we're going to be talking about, and talking about the strategy that Gulfstream are adopting and why it's a smart move. And if you're looking to buy an aircraft, you really need to tune into this one. So welcome to BizJet TV. Lots of content here, over 1,000 videos, all about private aviation, interviews with pilot owners and owners that are using the airplane as a business tool. My name is Fabrizio. I'm an airline transport pilot and your aviation advisor, the author of The Quantum Economy. A very interesting book, not because I wrote it, but because if you're watching this channel, you're interested in private aviation, you probably either own a jet or you're thinking of buying one. Well, this book will tell you why you really need one. And the stories of people that are using private aviation to grow their business. And there's a trend right now, there's younger people coming into this. Maybe you're one of them, maybe you're 35 years old, you've got a bit of money, you want to expand your business, but you also love flying. Why not learn to fly and buy yourself a Cirrus S22 like a client of mine did, and tripled his business in year one, and then went on to buy an Epic turboprop, and he's on his way to buying his first jet probably in the next 18 months. But you know, he's used the airplane to grow his business. So what's up with the Gulfstream G400? This is an interesting airplane, 4,200 nautical mile range, so a bit less than the 5, 6, 700 and the 800. A price tag $34.5 million. It's going to be certified early next year, and they'll start delivering the first few aircraft. Now, this is a very good entry-level jet with the range it has. You know, if you're in LA, need to go to New York, Miami, it's great. It's got a large cabin for you to go back and forth. It's also got the capability to get you over the Atlantic. So it's a good airplane to do New York, London in, or, you know, London, Dubai. Comfortable. And also the interesting thing is the way Gulfstream have designed this, they've kept the same symmetry cockpit and the fly-by-wire system that's in the G500, the 600, the 700 and the 800. So what Gulfstream are basically doing is they've looked at the airline market and they've seen the success that Airbus have had with building commonality amongst their aircraft, allowing crews to be able to transition from one airplane to the next with little training, instead of having to do a full 30-day type rating course, just a differences course, because the cockpit layout and everything is the same. So if you are a pilot and you're looking to getting into private aviation, you fancy living the lifestyle of a contract pilot, so you think, well, I need to invest in a type rating. Well, getting a type rating in, you know, the G4, 5, 6, 7, 800 series, they're just differences course to go from one airplane to the next. But these airplanes are going to be around for the next 25 to 30 years. So getting onto one of these aircraft is a very good idea for a pilot. And it's also a very good idea for a pilot owner, because if you're going to build a fleet and you need different capabilities within your fleet, you know, you get the G4, 500, 600, you know, you use maybe the 6, 700 for the longer range flights, the G400 for the shorter range flights. You can use the same pilots from one airplane to the other, you know, and also with spare parts and that, there's a lot of commonality there. And so this platform that Gulfstream are building is very, very clever from an operational standpoint, but also from a commercial standpoint, because of the commonality amongst the types of airplanes. If you look at their, you know, direct competitors, and we're looking at Dassault with putting the same cockpit into most of their airplanes now, but they're trending a little bit behind. Of course, they've got the launch of the 10X. That prototype should be rolling out soon. And that is got a lot of interesting technology in it that they developed. So that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. And then you've got Bombardier. But Bombardier, they've got the Global 5500 and the 6500. And there's commonality between those two. But when you jump up to the Global 7500, it's a completely different aeroplane. So the pilots have to retrain completely to fly the Global 700. And that disconnect, I think, is going to cost Bombardier quite a lot of money. And that's where Gulfstream really do have the edge over their direct competitor, which is Bombardier. The Dassault product is a bit different. It's smaller aircraft, but there are people that love the shape. You know, the French are good with their designs. And of course, you know, they put that fighter technology into their aircraft. Same with Gulfstream, though. A lot of their engineers come from building, you know, military aircraft and that. So it's going to be a bit of a head-to-head there. But I do think the strategy that Gulfstream have adopted here with the 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 series and the symmetry cockpit, which is a really, really good cockpit. I've got some friends of mine that have flown it. And one friend of mine has flown the 7X for a long time, and he went to test fly the G500 and he spoke very highly of it. He said, you know, this is really, really user friendly. something that the Dassault Falcon really isn't. You really have to get your head around it before you can master the system, while the Gulfstream system was a lot easier to use. And that really, really is important. In particular, you know, when pilots are under stress, when there's an emergency situation, you know, easier the avionics are, easier the cockpit is to manage. It's going to be easier for them to manage an in-flight emergency. So, you know, taking that load off the pilot is really, really important, because, you know, fatigue can crop in. And, you know, I've got friends of mine that have flown the Airbus 320 and the 737, flying 4 sectors a day. And they tell me that flying the Airbus is a lot less workload than flying the 737. So sometimes this automation and these new systems and avionics, if they're user-friendly, you know, can take, you know, a few seconds off here, a few seconds off there, and it's all little bits of stress that are taken off the pilot's back. You know, when in a busy environment, you're flying for 2 weeks on the trot, you know, you don't want those extra bits to do, because it's just going to create stress and create more fatigue in the pilot. So that's the other thing. When you are buying an aircraft, you know, look at the avionics and look at the cockpit, look at, you know, how easy they are to use, because that's important. Your people up front are really important. As I always say, yes, the airplane is important, but the pilots are more important than the plane. So you really need to get your pilots right. And if it means paying for type ratings, do it. Get the right men or women for the job, and then train them. They'll be grateful. They'll be loyal. You know, and these modern machines are really great machines to fly. I'm looking forward to seeing how this whole market develops. And my prediction is Gulfstream are going to be very successful. They just need to make sure that, you know, they keep everybody happy. That's always the case with any product, any company. Keep your customers happy. They'll be coming back. They're bringing referrals with them. That's all very important. So you tell me what you think on this Gulfstream G400. Is this something that you would be considering? What do you think of the aircraft? What's your experience with the G500, 600? If you've had experience with these airplanes as a passenger, as an owner, or as a pilot, let's get the conversation going below. And check out this other episode we did about pilot fatigue. Part 1 and Part 2 is coming. And that's all from Fabrizio here on BizJet TV. Remember to subscribe to the channel and grab yourself a copy of The Quantum Economy. See you on the next one. Bye.